What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're recapping the Giants losing at home to the New Orleans Saints 33-18 in what should have been a shootout for both of these teams. Ended up being a one-sided game. The beginning of this game looked to be just as we thought it was. A shootout. We thought, the Giants and the Saints were going to score touchdowns, score field goals on almost every possession like they usually do. When the Giants, on their opening possession, they deferred, and then the Saints, I guess, punted it, and I'll get into why I couldn't see the game in just a second. I guess the Saints punted it, the Giants deferred, they won the coin toss, they deferred, gave it to the Saints, they punted it. The Giants, on their opening possession, scored a touchdown, 2-yard reception for Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard now has, I don't know. I think he has 4 or 5 touchdowns on the season now. So Sterling Shepard's just putting in the work, and is quickly becoming Eli Manning's favorite target. And it's not Odell Beckham. So with that being said, the Giants got their 7 points. Nothing on the board for Drew Brees and the Saints. And then there were a couple punts for the Saints, and then they got field goal after field goal after field goal, and eventually built up the lead at halftime, 12-7, just by field goals. And a lot of that was occurred to the Giants not able to move the ball after their first score, with Saquon Barkley only getting 5 carries in the first half. It's unbelievable how the Giants and Pat Shurmur do not learn from their mistakes. You look at the Dallas Cowboys game, and how many rushes did Saquon have in the first half? I believe it was 4 rushes in the first half. He had 5 this game, and that is the recipe to failure. We drafted this guy number 2 overall for a reason, not for 5 carries in the first half. So with that being said, there was a drive here. I believe it was 7-6 or 7-3. I think, no, it was 7-6. We're up, and we're trying to drive the ball down the field, and we're actually doing so with Wayne Gallman. And Wayne Gallman has had 5 straight touches running the ball and receiving the ball, and he was actually moving the ball down the field pretty successfully by himself. And, it was a quick pass here, quick rush there, and he was moving the ball down the field. And what happens when you give the ball too much to this type of back, and it's not Saquon Barkley, and you think it's Saquon Barkley? He fumbled the ball. The Saints recover. They moved down the field, and they were basically in field goal range. They were in the red zone by the time the Saints player was tackled. I believe tackled by Eli Manning too. With all that being said, it was just a bunch of mistakes. Saquon Barkley, you guys saw late in the game when we scored that touchdown, or actually we got a field goal. It was to get 10 points on the board. We already had 7, but to get our field goal in I believe 4th or 3rd quarter. Yeah, it was the 3rd quarter. The Giants were able to move the ball down the field because Saquon Barkley was utilized in the right way. Saquon Barkley was running the ball. He found a way to bounce out to the outside, and he was able to get a first down and more, and kept running after that. It was a 28-yard gain, and he's getting a lot of these type of gains, 24-yard gains, 21-yard gain, 28-yard gain. That's what I love to see from Saquon Barkley. And the Giants, I guess, just don't feel it. They don't like seeing that, I guess, because they don't keep giving him the ball. And if you guys saw, we gave it to him on first down. That was first down. The Giants need to run it on first down, because when we pass on first down, we always go 3 and out. When we run on first down, we usually at least get another first down before going punting the ball again. But it's good to move the ball down the field that way. So you guys seen what happened. Saquon Barkley was able to move the ball down the field. We gave that threat of a run. Saquon was a threat, and now teams are loading the box. The Saints were loading the box, and they're getting ready for the run. And then what did you see? Eli Manning on a play action finds a wide open Sterling Shepard. There was no Saints in the screen. There was no Saints on the screen when Sterling Shepard caught that ball to get us in field goal range. So when you have Saquon as your threat in the running game, of course you're going to open things up in the pass. All that being said, let's move on to some more notes that I have here. All right, so like I said, Wayne Gallman, he's not Saquon Barkley. We gave it to him 5 or 6 times straight, with a couple of dump offs, a couple of runs up the gut and things like that. And eventually he did fumble, and it led the Saints in position to score again. And then here we go. At the end of the second half, what I can't understand, there's about 1 minute, just over a minute left in the game. The Giants should have called a timeout. The Saints are going to score either a touchdown or a field goal here. There's really no in between. They're going to play conservative. They're going to get the points. With all that being said, you have to give your offense time to respond at least and not give up. It just looked like Pat Shurmur gave up at the half and was just content with being down 12-7 after we just allowed 12 straight points. Pat Shurmur, that shows right there that Pat Shurmur does not have confidence in this offense. Not so much that he doesn't have confidence in Eli Manning. I just don't think he has confidence in this offense. Because if he didn't have confidence in Eli Manning, he wouldn't have him throwing 40 times a game. The problem is the offensive line, and I'm going to make a whole separate video for that, maybe in the coming days, of why Eli needs to go, but it's not because of Eli, so to speak. It's just his old age. He's not mobile anymore. His body cannot adjust to the way this offensive line is playing. He can't be like Russell Wilson and move out the pocket. Father time is father time, you know. I guarantee you, if you put Eli behind a great offensive line, you know, put him on another team, even a decent offensive line, put him on another team that has a decent offensive line, and he'll take you places. You know, I've seen some good throws in this game. I've seen some bad ones as well, but what can you expect from a quarterback that only has an average, guys? There's an average. If you guys time the snap to throw, and by the time there's a guy in the backfield, Eli has like just under 3 seconds to throw the ball. I swear, he has 2 seconds. After 2 seconds and he throws the ball, he's already getting hit. Tony Romo was pointing that out. There were times when Eli Manning threw a dump off, threw a quick slant, and by that time, even on a quick slant, by that time, he was already getting hit. Eli is just under pressure. His mind is everywhere. It's not his fault. I'm telling you right now. With all that being said, Pat Shurmur has no confidence in his offense. He was content with going into halftime down 12-7 after allowing 12 points. So that is ridiculous. By the way, if you guys didn't know, make sure you tune in every Sunday or whenever the Giants are playing. I try to go live. I'm going to try to go live now. I went live. I had a really good discussion with a lot of guys. Had like 50 viewers, and that was awesome to see. So thank you guys for that. I went live for that Saints and Giants game, but CBS screwed up and was showing me a Houston and Colts game for whatever reason. And of course, with the new overtime rule, you know, it gives the other team a chance to respond, which is what we all wanted. But it's all biting us in the butt now because these overtime games are getting so long. And not only that, overtime, there's so much overtime in this freaking season so far. We already have 2 ties too, and Tennessee and the Eagles almost tied. There were 17 seconds left on the board before they scored a touchdown. So, before the Titans scored a touchdown. So, all that being said, CBS really screwed up. I wasn't able to see my team play for a quarter and a half, and I was watching a boring Texans and Colts game. So, yeah, with all that being said, and then let's talk about Joel Davis for a second. I mean, we had just a terrible chance on offense because we were always starting at a terrible spot. Joel Davis, who we just promoted from the practice squad after sending Jonathan Stewart to the IR, and of course we lose another guy to IR, and it's another running back. You know, we promote Joel Davis to the active roster. I'm like, okay, we need a wide receiver, and I like Joel Davis. He made some plays in the off season, well, in like camp and things like that. And I'm like, okay, so we're using him at kick returner, which makes no sense because he's a slower guy. He's not agile. I don't know why we're putting him there. Why we're not putting Wayne Gallman or another player there. You know, we use him, and he has the worst speed I've ever seen in a kick returner in my entire life. I'm talking, and just makes the worst decisions. I mean, he took a ball out from like 7 yards in the end zone and took it out and wound up getting to like the 10-yard line and showed no mobility, no speed, no burst whatsoever to hit the outside or whatever it is. I mean, it was terrible. It was so bad. And the Giants, the special teams coordinator, needs to get rid of Joel Davis off of that kick returning duties. Put someone else. I really don't care who you put in there as long as it's not Joel Davis. If I'm the Giants, I'm putting him back on the practice squad, and I'm promoting Jarrell Presley from the practice squad, the running back that we got a couple weeks into the preseason, who showed a lot of flashes. Put him at kick returner. If not, put Wayne Gallman at kick returner now that we had 3 running backs on the roster. I don't know. But let's get on to the stats real quick. I'm already running on 10 minutes, so let's get on to the stats. All right, let's get on to the stats. We got Drew Brees, who was 18 out of 32, 217 yards, No touchdowns, no interceptions. We held Drew Brees in check. The defense played great. The defense was bend, do not break, as we always have been seeing so far this season. But we were clicking on all cylinders on defense. We were letting up some yards, but we were just letting up field goals. We didn't let up any touchdowns. But the defense, of course, the defense builds off the offense. If the offense isn't producing, there's really no point in playing defense. I mean, the defense is there so you could prevent the other team from putting up points, so your offense could put up points. And if you guys seen when the Giants moved down the field and they scored that field goal, the Giants defense quickly scored a 3-and-out. I mean, got a 3-and-out. Was able to get off the field extremely quick. Why? Because they were motivated. They felt like the Giants could actually do something. And then, of course, the Giants wound up punting again, so the defense was just doing the same old thing. That's what happens. So the defense played great. We did a fantastic job keeping Mike Thomas in check. And Mike Thomas had 4 receptions for 47 yards, and I think at the end of the first half, he only had like 2 catches. So did a great job there from the most targeted receiver in the NFL and the leading receiver in the NFL. So, and then we got this Taysom Hill guy. Do the Saints think that they're running a college team? Do they think they're running Alabama? Do they think they're running some other team? Because Taysom Hill, who actually did a good job on that punt, on that fake punt, and the Giants are very stupid for not seeing that Taysom Hill is out there. There's a quarterback out there. If you're playing Madden Ultimate Team and you see Ben Roethlisberger, the Ben Roethlisberger kicker, the Ben Roethlisberger punter out there, you know he's gonna freaking throw it. So, if you see Taysom Hill out there, you know a play is going to be designed for him, whether he's going to run it or pass it. And I don't understand Taysom Hill. This guy had little to no success, whether he was running the ball, whether he was trying to pass the ball. I mean, besides that fake punt, he had little to no success. The Giants knew what he was doing every single time, and I just don't know why he was out there. Why are you putting a quarterback out there? I know you're low on running backs. You don't have Mark Ingram. You got Alvin Kamara, and you got some other running back. But I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand. You got Mike Gillislee too. He didn't do anything either. Dwayne Washington didn't do anything. Taysom Hill had more carries than Mike Gillislee did. So I don't know what they were doing there, but it's whatever. All right, so. Drew Brees, we held him in check. Great job from one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. We only held him to 217 yards, and we sacked him once. He had a QBR of 36.9. So just to put that in perspective for you guys, how good the defense played. Eli Manning had a better QBR than Drew Brees, if you guys didn't know, and actually looked pretty good against the Saints defense. Just like I said, just couldn't get anything going because of that pass rush. 31 of 41, 255 yards, 6.2 average yards per play, and 1 touchdown, no interception. Sacked 3 times for 21 yards. Actually, wasn't sacked too much. Chad Wheeler actually did a pretty damn good job against Cameron Jordan, if I say so myself. And Eli Manning had a 59.1 QBR, 59.3 QBR. The New Orleans rushing Alvin Kamara killed us on the ground. 19 carries, 134 yards, and that is pretty much padded because of that last play in the game. The Giants just gave up on that play. 7.1 yard average, 3 touchdowns. So Alvin Kamara, fantasy owners, I know you guys are happy about that. I had him on fantasy last year in his rookie year. He did very well for me. Taysom Hill, 4 carries, 28 yards. Mike Gillislee, 2 for 6. Dwayne, 2 for 2. Saquon Barkley, 10 carries, 44 yards. Season low for him, and probably will be all-time season low because the Giants need to wake up and give this man the rock. Odell Beckham Jr., 1 carry, 10 yards. I guess it was a end around or whatever. I didn't see it because of the freaking CBS situation. Wayne Gallman, 2 for 6. Let's see here. New Orleans receiving game. Josh Hill was your leading receiver. 3 receptions, 63 yards. Mike Thomas, 4 for 47. Alvin Kamara, 5 for 47. Cameron Meredith, 3 for 32. I mean, we did a good job keeping these guys in check. Ted Ginn Jr. had 3 targets and no receptions, and that's pretty good being with the Giants struggle with speedy receivers. Even if they're not talented, just anybody with speed the Giants struggle with, and that's one of the guys I was worried about coming into this game was Ted Ginn Jr. We did a good job in locking him up. We move on to the Giants receiving game. Sterling Shepard, 10 receptions, 77 yards, 1 touchdown. Sterling Shepard just on all targets, 10 out of 10, 77 yards. Sterling Shepard is just my one of my favorite Giants right now. Odell Beckham, 7 receptions, 60 yards on 11 targets. The Giants Eli just struggles trying to find Odell Beckham. I guess he runs too fast or whatever it is. Eli just can't figure Odell Beckham out. Saquon Barkley, 6 receptions, 56 yards. I just love how Saquon Barkley is a natural pass catcher now. He's a legitimate dual threat running back. Rhett Ellison, three receptions, 29 yards, and la la la. We then move on to the fumbles. Brandon Tate fumbled one, and I guess he didn't lose it. Eli Manning fumbled, and he lost it. Wayne Gallman fumbled, and he lost it. So there's that. Eli fumbled at the end of the game with like 2 minutes left to go, so it didn't really matter. And then we look at the defense. Both defenses played pretty well, if I say so myself. Even though we allowed 33 points, it didn't look like we allowed 33 points. I mean, we really... The defense really put up a fight. They gave up at the end, but, I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you really going to risk yourself for a blowout loss? Are you really going to risk yourself in that? You know, your offense is not going to score. So I know you need to try, but if there's like 4 minutes left in the game, you know, I mean, they almost had it there, and they almost gave us a chance there, but it is what it is, really. All right, so we move on to the Saints defense first. Demario Davis with 11 tackles, 9 of them solo. He had a fantastic game. 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 quarterback hits. Ken Crawley had 8 tackles, 7 of them solo, and you guys can see the whole defensive thing there. And then for the sacks, you had Demario Davis with 2 sacks, Tyler Davidson with the sack, and then no sacks from Cameron Jordan. So what a great job from Chad Wheeler, able to hold down that side of the ball. I think he had Cameron Jordan, Chad Wheeler. I think he lines up on that side. If not, then Nate Solder did a good job. But all 3 of those sacks came from the interior. So, you know, interior blitzes. Demario Davis came on 2 interior blitzes, and we couldn't figure out a solution for him. And then Tyler Davidson, I don't know. I think he's a linebacker or a defensive tackle. I can't remember. But yeah, there he was. He got a sack. So then Landon Collins had 14 tackles, did a great job, had a half tackle for loss, which was a good one. I believe, I forgot who it was, but it could have went very far, but Alec Ogletree and Landon Collins was able to wrap that up. It was on Alvin Kamara, I believe. And then had a pass defense. Alec Ogletree had a pretty good game, 12 tackles, 5 of them solo, 2.5 tackles for loss. That's what I want to see from my middle linebackers, because most of those tackles for loss are happening on the running back, and that's really pretty much what the middle linebacker's job is the running back. So Ray Armstrong, who had hit another start today, he started at linebacker over B.J. Goodson. So Ray Armstrong doing a great job in our defense. Janoris Jenkins had himself a very good game. Of course, Mike Thomas had his way just a little bit with Janoris Jenkins, but Janoris Jenkins, for the most part, held up. So, and then for the sacks, the only sack we got was for B.J. Hill. So he has 2 sacks on the year so far for the Giants in his rookie year. So great job for B.J. Hill there. We look at the offensive MVP and the defensive MVP. I give that to the winning teams. The offensive MVP is Alvin Kamara, no doubt. 19 carries, 134 yards, 7.1 yards a carry, and 3 touchdowns. What a monstrous performance from Alvin Kamara. And our defensive MVP is Demario Davis with 11 tackles, 9 solo, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 quarterback hits. Great job from Demario Davis. We look at the Giants awards, and I have 2 awards. The Terrence Mitchell Award, which is the player that's just having a bad day, and you could give that to Odell Beckham because he was screaming on the sidelines and things like that. He was having a really bad day. But as far as the play goes, the player having a bad day was Eli Manning. I mean, Eli Manning just couldn't get anything going. He had making some bad throws. He had no time to throw. His offensive line couldn't block for him. Things like that. So I give the Terrence Mitchell Award to Eli Manning. The At Least You Tried Award is going to go to Landon Collins. He had himself a great game. Had 14 tackles, 9 solo, 1 pass defense, and a tackle for loss. So I'm going to give it to Landon Collins, who had himself a decent game but just couldn't get the win. So with all that being said, we go on to face the Carolina Panthers. I don't know what to expect from this game. Of course, I know we're going to lose. I just don't know if we're going to get blown out or not. I know the Giants are not going to the playoffs. We're not getting a winning record. We're just trying to fight for our pride pretty much at this point. So I don't know if we want to get another high draft pick and try to get a quarterback. This Justin Herbert guy is really making a name for himself. A lot of people are talking about him from Oregon, so we'll see how that goes. Oregon runs a really different scheme than a pro offense. You know, they run that spread offense and they run quick passing game, things like that, and options and stuff like that. So don't know if he's going to be a fit for the Giants, especially with Pat Shurmur as the basically offensive coordinator and Mike Shula, so which are two kind of ground and pound West Coast offense type offensive coordinators. So I don't know how they're going to fit there with that Justin Herbert guy. But anyway, all that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.